Hi, let's talk today about Vue JS, Houdini CSS and Payment Request API. I'm Anatol and you are watching the good parts of the front-end development. If this is your first time here and you want to learn front-end and JavaScript, start now by subscribing and don't forget to turn on the subtitles. Let's start today with the game tutorial. Having read it, you will learn how to build a text-based game using Vue JS library. Honestly speaking, it's a rather brief tutorial, so you'll be able to create only a first page of the game. The next point regarding Vue in my list is VuePress, namely Vue-powered static site generator. Using it, you can generate a static pre-rendered HTML website based on your static content. It can be used, for example, for the documentation creation for your project. Getting started with the Web MIDI API by Peter Anglea covers the basics of MIDI and the Web MIDI API, showing how simple it is to create front-end apps that respond to musical inputs. You can find this article at Smash Magazine. Let me share with you One-Liner's project. Its motto is "Functional tools that couldn't be simpler", and I do agree. Here you can find a well-documented library of the functions useful in case you prefer a functional style. LePage has presented Progressive Web App Roadshow. In this series of events, he explained the what, why and how of PWA and covered such topics as integration, security, tooling and more. Safari now supports the Payment Request API for conducting Apple Pay transactions on the web. This article describes how to implement this feature in step-by-step example. Finally, you can buy genuine squirrel fish in the demo example. Tobias Reich has published a tutorial titled "Stunning Hover Effects with CSS Variables". The author uses CSS variables on mouse move via JavaScript, and underlying CSS then updates dynamically. It's not as hard as you might think. In his turn, Josh Marinacci shows how he uses CSS Grid to build the UI layout of an old-school RPG game. You can read this post at Mozilla Hacks. Houdini has the potential to radically change how we approach CSS. Willbody has prepared several demos to show how to get started with the Paint API using Houdini API. How to think about speed tools is a new infographics explaining Google's web performance tools and how to think about them. Here you can get acquainted with several myths about web performance and tools usage which are improving that. If you're interested in WebAssembly just like me, you might have faced with some pitfalls during the research. Now we have a right tool for this purpose. Webassembly Studio is an online IDE that helps you learn and teach others about WebAssembly. It's also a Swiss Army knife that comes in handy whenever working with WebAssembly. Have a look. "7 Things I Learned That Made Me a Better Programmer" by Thiago Duarte contains obvious but crucial life hacks that every developer should keep in mind in order to become even more efficient and productive. Leonardo Lima has posted an article, namely, How to keep your JavaScript code simple and increase its readability. This is a story of refactoring one piece of code by reducing its complexity and numbers of lines almost double. The author has summarized and captured his thoughts in the article. Using ethics in web design is a throughout article that considers the role of ethics, norms, and expectations and how they relate to the digital works you create. You can read this article at Smashing Magazine. The last but not least tool for today is TensorFlow.js library. This is a WebGL accelerated, browser-based JavaScript library for training and deploying ML models. You've probably heard about Google's TensorFlow and seen a lot of tutorials, but almost all of them are using Python. Now you can use TensorFlow in your browser. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and watch other episodes. Thanks for watching and stay curious.